Hi everyone, it's Judy. Welcome back to Rose Lane. Okay, today we are going to continue on with our autumn garden, and I'm starting to think that maybe I want to switch the name to like Autumn Secret Garden or something, because I tend to be going towards all these. I'm going to roll up my sleeves because I keep catching my sweater on everything. I keep going towards all these hidden kinds of things. So I did the one centerpiece, and this one that I'm going to be doing here was actually supposed to be the original centerpiece. So, you know, the center page spread for a one signature journal, and now it's kind of getting thick again. Yeah, we're not going there. But anyway, so I'm splitting it into two signatures so it lays a little bit better. Because I did the other center spread and I did those hidden journaling cards, I decided that I needed to add an element to my original thought for this page, so that there'd be something hidden on this page as well, or just, you know, camouflaged, as it were. So I will show you what my original intention was. This is, okay, this is the paper that it's going to go on, and I am going to back it with another paper, and there'll be pockets, you know, just, you know, pockets like we do for bigger pieces. And I was just going to do my classic, put two, you know, pockets on either side and stick a tag in and be done with it, more or less. That was my original intention. And then I thought, what if I put these pockets together and then do these pockets as well over, you know, over the spread. So these pockets would, you know, kind of freestand like this, and there'd be a couple of the smaller tags from the kit perhaps in here. And then I thought, well, that's a possibility. That could be good, and I can actually flip them this way, which might be better, just to give it a little more contrast with the design. So that was a possibility, you know, put smaller journaling cards that don't look like this, something that looks, you know, a little different. And she has several in the kit. And I thought, well, there's nothing hidden there. So what could I possibly do to make something hidden so it would sort of match the theme, the feel of the other page? So I backed everything with the green again, like I did before. I edged the edges of the pockets with green. And this is what we're going to do. I tried it out with clips and all kinds of stuff, which is why I have all my clips over here. This is what we're going to do. I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it to the side for the moment. And we're going to work on one of these at a time. And this won't, it shouldn't, I hope, shouldn't take too long to go together. So what I did, this was my, I'm trying to pull my papers out over here. Okay, here we go. What I thought I would do is I'm going to, well, you know what? I'm just going to kind of do this, and you just watch along, and you'll see, I think, what's going to happen in this video. I'll put up one of those little mini videos, you know, showing how it works on the Facebook groups. And, you know, if you are liking that, then you can come here and you can see actually how it all went together. So this is what I'm going to do. I cut a piece of paper, and I'm going to glue it to the back of my, this part right here, I'm going to glue to the back of my pocket. So let's do that. And the sizes are going to be relevant only to the size of what you're doing. However these things came out to, you know, to fit, I just cut the papers to fit them, if that makes any sense at all. So I am guessing, you know, not guessing, but I'm estimating and just kind of checking it out with paper as I go. So I'm going to do this, hopefully get this glued down right. And it's okay. I think it's just a tad smaller. The paper's a tad smaller, which is fine. It's mostly for security's sake. I am seeing my line, which I'm going to want to get away if I can. There we are. My little guy here. And get that off of there. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in my ruler 1/4 of an inch from each end, which I could have done actually, and I did do in the prototype. I did do before I got started. I did have this cut. So I'm going to come in 1/4 of an inch from the end on either side, because I think this will work. And actually I have it marked. It looks like I have my 1/4 inches marked down here. Well, that's not quite 1/4 inch. It's a little off. And I'm not worried about these pencil lines because they're actually going to kind of be covered. And that is 1/4 of an inch. So I'm going to go from the edge of the pocket here. And like I said, this could have been done before, which might make it actually a little bit easier. And I'm going to, I have to get right up against the edge of my ruler here, and I'll snip that with the scissors. And I will do the same on this side. I think that was the 1/4 inch line, if I am not mistaken. I believe it was the outside one. And I'll trim that one. Probably a little bit off, but that's okay. And then I'm just going to cut right up to there. Make sure I'm, well, you know what, I can do it that way. Try to make sure I'm in frame for you. Okay. Now, when I measured the paper, I measured it so that it would cover the back of this, and that's mostly for stability's sake. Then I took, where's my other one? It's a good question. Here it is. I took this one, and instead of doing it double, you know, just going back to back, I just sort of overlapped it about 1/4 of an inch. Okay? And that is for this reason. This is going to go, you're going to fold this back on itself, if this is making sense to you. Okay? You're going to fold that back on itself, and then you're going to fold this forward and leave about, 1/4 of an inch or so out this way. So let me see. Let me get something dark here. Okay, so this is what it's looking like. All right, so you folded it back on itself, if you can see that, right against the edge of here. And then you folded it back again so that about 1/4 of an inch is hanging over. I don't know if you can really see it like that. 1/4 of an inch is hanging over the edge here, and about 1/4 of an inch or so in from the end. Okay, that's what we're doing there. Now we're going to take this, which I cut before, and we're just going to glue this onto the edge and then trim it, because I know it's not the exact size. Widthwise it is, but lengthwise it's too, I hope, I hope it's just slightly too long. So this is going to be a relatively quick video, especially since I've already done the tags and stuff. So, and I'm still debating, once I have it all together, still debating if I'm going to put the double slanty pockety thing in. So, going to do my best to try to get this lined up. And again, since I have issues with seeing where I am, probably be wiser to just do one side, wouldn't it? And then glue down the other side. So, okay. So we've got that. And then I'm just going to take my, because this is easier for me now. I do so admire all of you who can take your scissors and just cut a straight line. I can't. It's sad when you like to work with paper and you have trouble with scissors. Okay, I think that is even. Let's hope that is even. Okay, and that's that. So we now have this, and that's what that looks like. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this piece of paper, and this is going to fit right up against the side. I already inked this before. And we are going to go, should have drew my pencil lines, right? Like I did the other day. We're just going to go around the edge of the pocket as close as we can to the edge, nothing too thick. And we want to really try to make sure that when we put the pocket on, I'm really trying to stay very close to the edge, and I apologize if I'm off the screen, but it is easier for me to see what I'm doing. We want to try to stay as close to the edge of the pocket as possible. I see it just didn't trim that right. So that we don't overlap where the yeah, that should do. So we don't overlap where the paper is, where we folded the paper inside. So I would, for me, I'm pushing the glue from the center out instead of trying to go down or push it in. I don't want it to get near that paper. Okay. So we have that. And now what we actually will have is a card in here. This one is this one. And that card's going to go right in there. And you can see a little bit of that. And these are going to go down. Okay? So that's what we have on the side. So we have a card that's a pocket. We have a card that's a pocket. And then you have this. This comes out, and you have journaling space on both sides. To put it back in, you just, whoops, I'm going off screen again. And I want to be careful because I just glued the pocket down, but you just pick it up and tuck it back in like that. And that is our hidden space on this side. So let's finish the other one on the other side. And this time, I'm going to, you know what? I'll just do it the way I did it. We're going to glue this one down, obviously opposite. Okay. So we're going to glue this one down. Let me get this out of the way because I'll inevitably glue it together. Years ago when I used to, when I was, teenager and early 20s, I used to do a lot of sewing. I love to sew, excuse me, children's clothes. And I always, no matter how many times I would do it, I would always sew an armhole closed. Or if I was making a bonnet, I would, like a little baby bonnet, I would sew it the wrong way somehow, and when I flipped it, it wouldn't, because you have to put the seams in, sew the seams on the outside, then flip it over, and then, all that kind of jazz. And I would inevitably start out doing something wrong. Actually, this one goes this way. I hope that's right. I didn't do it for the other side. Yes, this one's going to go this way. Yes. Okay. It's that mirror thing again, guys. Okay. All right. Where's my little white? What? It's amazing, isn't it? I never leave. I never leave my desk, and yet I can never find what I've done with something. It has to be here. Okay. Sticking to myself. All right, so while that part is drying, I'm going to do this part. Make sure there's no glue down here. I'm going to do this because I want to make sure that that's good and dry before I fold it back on itself again. And I'm only doing one side this time to try to keep my fingers out of the glue. Okay, so this is this is going to be a short one, which is probably a blessing to all of you, because the last couple, well, not the last one, well, maybe it was, they've been like an hour long. Bless your hearts. Okay, so, oh, and this paper comes from I think it's Retro Wall Decor, and it's her, like, a new autumn kit that she came out with. So that's where that paper came from. And some people have asked me about this. This was, I can't remember the name. And I've seen it a couple of times and it just escapes me, the name of the designer. But the paper is called Warm Blankets. That's because that's just so easy to remember. And they have a bunch of plaid looking things in there like that. So, which is really, really nice. And beautiful autumn colors. And they look like blankets. Just want to get this little bit of icky glue out of there. Let's glue this one down. Now this, by doubling this over, because again, I'm just using copy paper, by doubling this over and using the glue on both sides, so you've got 3 layers of copy paper and 2 layers of glue. When that dries, that's when it really is good and dry and it sets, that's pretty sturdy. So it should. Looking for the ruler. Okay, here we go. It should. Oh, you know what? I did not cut the 1/4 inch, which is still fine. I can still do it. The beauty of all of this. Actually, I don't think I'm going to need that glue anymore. Yeah. So, okay. Let me just get. And you may decide that you think you want a little bit more than 1/4 inch. I wanted it to be as close as possible to the size of the pocket and still have room to be able to tuck it in without worrying about it being too tight. And I thought that 1/4 inch would be sufficient. And as it turns out, I hope that it will be. So I am just going to line these guys up and then cut that straight down. I'm going to go over that one more time because I have a few thicknesses there. I'll turn this one around. Actually, I do want to do it from the other side. For me, it's easier for me to see this way. Okay, that's pretty good. Go right up into the corner there and cut this one. Okay, and then I'll just go right there, get rid of that guy, and right here, and get rid of that guy. Okay, now we're going to fold that back on itself. Okay. I don't know if I bone foldered the other guy, but we're bone foldering this one. And then this one is going to come out about 1/4 inch on the other side. Try to make it as straight as you can. And that leaves room for the glue and still room for it to maneuver within the pocket. And you can ink this if you want to. I didn't. I mean, I can always go back and ink it. It doesn't really matter, but you know what, why don't we? I'll ink this one first. Whoops. I will ink this one first. Not a lot, just a little. Actually, I don't think this will show up too much on the decorative piece, but on the digital. And I used to, oh, you know what, I got a pencil mark here. I used to ink in the middle on these things, you know, where the folds were. And I know that for the most part, you know, if something is old, wherever an edge is exposed, it would, you know, it would discolor. But I don't know. For me, as it goes up the middle there, for me, I like having the center blank rather than having a line go down the middle. So it's just preference. Whoever, you know, decides to take this journal, get this journal, they can always go back and ink. The ink that I'm using for this one right here is brushed corduroy, and I'm also using tea dye in, I'll do this one here. I'm also using tea dye in, actually to edge the pages, the actual pages in the journal pages in the book. So just a little by the way there. So that's that one. And we'll go back and do this one because I believe I can do it, even though it's already in. So what I think, I'll just try to be very careful here near the edge. Get it all over my fingers probably. Now, like I said, I'm using copy paper here. I think it's probably easier to work it in and out of the fold. And as I pulled that one out, I was going just probably a little too fast and kind of crinkled it a little, but that's okay too. All right, other side. And it's just a matter of, you know, doing it gently. But with some of the stuff that people use in their journals, the real antique paper, you know, it was so delicate, and we use not so much maybe the vellum, but tracing paper and stuff like that. It's also, or glassine, it's all so delicate. It's just a matter of, you know, being cautious and being careful and not, you know, I'm trying to do it on this side a little bit. I don't know if you're seeing this or not. You know, I don't know if I did the other one on this side. Just for a little bit of something. Let me check that one. I don't know if I did it. I did not. So let's do that one too. Fold that one back a little bit. This one's a little bit easier because it's not glued in yet. All right, just that little bit. Okay. So, like I said, you just kind of roll it and tuck it back in. And it should go back in. Let's get this one glued. Oh, I think I have to unstick myself. Okay, I'm gonna make sure that we are still filming. Oh, hallelujah. Because what would I have done if we weren't? I'd have to do this all over. Okay, I just stood up, so I'm still standing. And I'm not doing a very good job on gluing this. I'm trying to be very careful. Sometimes too much caution, right? Okay, and we'll get this part here. Like I said, enough glue, but not too much if you can help it, because you don't want to get it up where you can see what I'm doing. You don't want to have it ooze out where the paper folds in, and get it stuck. So push it this way. Okay, and that's that. So that's, like I said, and we're going to have another page on the back of that, which will give this a little more substance. And then we have our cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. There it is. Okay. So that one's going to go in here. This one is going to go in behind. Okay. And we could put it up a little and down a little. which I think kind of looks nice. And the same thing here. This one will go up. I've probably got that. Yeah, I better be careful because I just glued that in. I don't want it to get stuck. That one goes in there. That one goes down there. And that's what we have for this one. And like I said, it's a very good possibility. And if I do this, I may end up doing the green around this pocket as well. And I may add some lace. So I don't know. I don't know. But this is not the hidden part. So anyway, that is what we've got for the other centerpiece for our second signature for the Autumn Garden, the Autumn Secrets Anymore journal. So like I said, I will put up a little video, a minute or two, probably a minute for this one. And if, you know, people come our way and check it out, and maybe they'll have a go. Anyway, that's it for today, guys. In the meantime, be well, be happy, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye for now.